Okay, we got a no cooling call here. Pretty nice house. We have not been in it yet. I do see the flue pipes on the roof there. So obviously the 4-inch and the 3-inch. So we know what's where in this house at least. Water on the ceiling and a rusted out secondary pan. So let's go in and take a look. All right, a nice attic here. But I see.
What I got out of it when I put.
All right, I sent the homeowner to go turn the system on, which might let me film a little bit. He's all over me. He's got what he vacuumed out of the line in a jar to show it to me, and just trying to be helpful. But nonetheless, I see a few things here. Obviously, the coil and the furnace are not matching, not the same size. I don't like that, but from what I understand, the manufacturer says it's okay, or this manufacturer does. If you look down here at this pan, it has been relying on this pan for quite a few years. So obviously it's either been clogged for a long time, or you know, it's just never been right. It doesn't look like the coil's leaning too far downhill or anything, and it's not blowing over into the plenum. And the only place it really escaped the pan is right there where it rusted out, and you can see the watermarks on the wood here. So we're going to go outside and see if we can get this to drain out of the primary to where they can at least have air for the day. Okay, so we're going to go look at the condenser first, and we'll see what it did to the outside of the house. Secondary pipe. I don't see it anywhere. Of course, he's going to be right in the way. As usual, there's no reading that. So let me see if I can find the secondary pipe. And here's our secondary coming out of the soffit, which they have added some pipe to and decided to catch it in a ring barrel. You can see all the rust, so certainly not very good water for anything. But let's see what we can do. Okay, I'm not sure if he had to go to the boys' room or what, but he's been glued to me since I got here. The customer has. And everywhere I go, he goes in front of me to show me. He's just trying to help, you know, but it really doesn't help. It hinders. You just can't really tell him that. So we cut it loose in the attic to get a look at it. Of course, there's no label on this. I'm going to say it's either 3.5 or a 4 ton. And we'll probably get the numbers off the compressor if we had to and figure that out. So I've got it cut loose up there. I'm going to make sure the main line is clear. We took the P-trap outside and washed it out. It's pretty much clear, but yet he was still getting, he tried all this himself before we got here. He was still getting water into the secondary pan. Obviously, we're going to have to replace that pan, but I was just going to see if I could get it draining out of the primary where he could run it today, and maybe in the next day or two, probably Saturday, before I can bring somebody up here and jack that thing up and try to change the pan. If he wanted to buy a new system, obviously it'd be a moot point. He'd go tear it all out and do it the easy way. But I think he wants to get all the life he can out of this one. So anyway, I'm going to see if anything comes out here before I go up there and watch it make water. And then I'm going to connect the trap back and see if I can watch it make water all the way out here. Hopefully we can get him some temporary AC back, because it is hot. Okay, what I'm getting out of here really doesn't look really bad. I think he's already done most of it. Coming out pretty clear. I've got a almost dead battery here, and sounds like the motor in this thing has about had it. Got separate ones that I use. I know they have a filter you can change, but I use a separate one of these for dry and a separate one for this wet with no filter on it. I'll tell you what, this thing has done a bunch of work for, I don't know, a few years. So it's probably about had it. About time for a new one. They're cheap. So let's go see if we can. Let's go see if we can watch it make water. Okay, what I was hoping to do, I was hoping to see it make water out of the primary here. But, so sure I've got time to fool with this all day when I can see what has to be done. It's just trying to get him some air that he could run, temporarily at least, so that he would have some cooling in the house until we can get this pan changed. Obviously we don't want to rely on the pan like they've done. I mean, this thing is a piece of paper. You can see that, of course. So she is shot. We don't want to rely on it, but we certainly don't want to run without it. I don't know if this thing didn't do its job, or if it's because of it being so much downhill here. This unlevel platform. If that's the reason it failed us or what, but it doesn't look like it's ever gone over the edge. It looks like the water line has always been within the pan. It's just the pan was so much lower that I would have thought it went over it, but it didn't, and it just finally rusted that out. It would drain out of the drain and go into his water barrel out there, and he thought that was normal. So this has been going on for years. Obviously nobody's been out here to do any maintenance or any servicing of any type, but hopefully they would have picked up on something. This is pretty bad, and I don't know that we're going to get water out of here fast enough. I tell you what, it's sure going to clog the trap right back up. Boy, now that amount of that is an ICP by design situation happening there. I mean, that is just a massive amount of rust really quickly. So there's obviously a lot of metal inside of their coils. I think all coils have some, but the water's directed correctly, it should not rust so bad so quick. And this appears to be 06. So I guess that would make it 11 to 12 years old. I mean, this coil and condenser really should be replaced. I guess if he wanted to keep the furnace, he could. I'm going to suggest a minimum of that, but I got a feeling that he's going to want the pan put under here, and that's it. That's the way he was talking on the phone about the problem before I got here. And it looks like we're starting to get a little water right. So let's see if we can get this thing back together and go see if it'll drip out of the primary. Vacuumed out of the primary with his attempts. So you can see that's likely what was in the P-trap itself from out of that coil. I'm not thinking a lot of ICP coils at the moment. Alright, we don't see anything yet, just a drop or two is all I've seen come out. You know, I was thinking maybe it was leaning downhill because of this floor, but you can see right there. Alright, he was determined that I'm going to get him some temporary air, so we got this on the secondary, and he's going to watch it. I've got the garden hose. I'm going to go out here and lay it as flat as I can out in the yard and run it downhill, and he's going to watch after this tonight, and we're going to come out here tomorrow and do some better repairs. He's going to decide whether it's just going to be a coil and an outside unit, or whether he wants to do the whole system, including the furnace. But either way, we're going to get him some temporary air here for sure. And you can see we got a little help here from the customer. That's coming out of the attic and down the attic stairs and downhill the whole way. According to him, that's extremely important, but you know, with that initial 10 foot of drop, I really wouldn't worry about it too much. So at least he's going to have some air, and we'll get out here tomorrow and get some footage on what we do when we're finished. Okay, finally got a decision out of him. So we're going to be back here in the morning, and we're going to install a new furnace, coil, pan, AC, thermostat, everything at once. And that should get us out of that. So for the hose pipe right now, at least that gets them where they can breathe and sleep in their master bedroom tonight. They had another little something, a little you know, a little portable little deal in one of the small bedrooms they were plugging in. So evidently they've had a couple of opinions up here. But we did make the sale, and we're going to change it out tomorrow morning, and we got a crew ready to do that, and we'll get a little bit of footage on the after work. And thanks for watching. Okay, we've got this thing changed out, and the customer's happy, so we're here just to review it. The crew's already gone, and one thing we did that he wanted us to do is we piped the primary into his rain barrel here. So I think it must be satisfied enough. Well, no, there she goes. It's dripping. So that's what he wanted done. And the secondary, of course, is capped off with a float switch in it. But He's making water into the rain barrel out of the primary, and that's what he wanted done. So let's take a look in the attic and see that the job looks good. Okay, we did have to take the attic door out, so the guys did have to caulk it back in, because of course the trim has to come off when they do that. So let's take a look up there and see what the furnace looks like. Okay, let's see that we got everything back like we want it.
Oh, plug in that other light here.
Oh, that's okay. So, I really do like these double wall flex hose connectors. That just makes it easy to hook back in, and they are approved. So the primary is now piped across to the pipe that was the secondary right there. And then we have just capped off the secondary and put a float switch in it, to where if any water goes in that secondary, we'd rather know about it. And plenum was actually an exact fit, so everything looks good here. And nice new train furnace coil. Let's go outside and take a look at the condenser.
I can get down out of the heat for a bit.
So everybody's got their theory on P-traps and drain tees and clean out tees, vent tees, whatever they call them. They'll put them beyond the trap and call it a vent. Absolutely makes no sense to me, and I'm not going to do it regardless. So nonetheless, this tee makes sense to me. You don't glue the cap, it's removable, and you can view it, you can look in it, and you can also pour. Now, I don't care for bleach, but you can pour bleach or some type of cleaner down in there, and it'll go into the trap. And you can do that on a regular basis when doing maintenance and whatnot, and homeowners love to do that as well. It makes no sense to me to have a clean out or any tee beyond the trap that, you know, this will pour directly into the trap and help maintain and clean a clog, whereas the trap is usually where the problem happens. Now, sometimes when they run downstairs and go to a crawl space and then go out, there'll be an elbow at the bottom that is lower than the termination. And if that's the case, over time that elbow will clog up. And but usually the problem is in the trap. And when that's the case, just to me, this makes the most sense. Now, I personally do not believe in blowing out drain lines. Maybe the little CO2 cartridges, could see that happening, but certainly not with nitrogen or any type of excessive pressure. You know, a glue joint, if it's old enough, will certainly blow apart with enough pressure, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So I use the vacuum outside, and in some cases I may need to use a bigger one than I do, but I like to use the little battery operated one first and try it. A little cordless job. You've seen them in other videos. So anyway, this is how the tee makes sense to me. So this is how I do them, and this is how I'm going to continue to do them if I put one there. And this is just, you know, like I explained, this is just logical to me, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm happy with it. The customer's happy with it. Let's go take a look at the outside unit. Okay, so the crew did have to take down the little piece of fence there. I think it's just got spikes in it. Sticks down in the ground, and so we got the new Train XR14 in place here, and we put new armor flex on it and everything, and Yes, we put the filter dryer outside. I get a couple comments from guys about that. If they want to do something else, they can, but this is where we put them. So we got his fence back in place and got his new XR14 out here running. It was running when I came around the corner, and it just has cycled off, so it's doing well, and we're happy with it. The customer's happy with it, so let's move on to the next one, and thanks for watching.